and welcome to your lower body stretch with me. So I hope that this is a nice quick practice that you can come back to before you start your day, or whenever you feel like you need a stretch. Maybe you're at work and you'd like a quick 10-minute stretch to come away from your desk. Either way, this is going to be a brilliant one to save. So when we're ready, coming down to a kneeling position and just taking those hands into the lap, shutting down the eyes for just a second. Going to take 30 minutes just to come back to the breath here. Focusing on those inhales and those exhales. Maybe finding a gentle roll of the shoulders here, just before we start to wake up. When we're ready, gently fluttering open those eyes. Just taking the hands out in front. And I just want you here to just feel down into the floor or into your mat. Feel down into the hands. And when you're ready, lift up and just tuck under your toes. Maybe come this way so you can see a little bit better. So tucking under those toes. And just see if you can drop that weight back so that you're sitting on the heels. So you might choose here to stay on your hands, or you might decide to come all the way up and take the weight onto the backs of the feet, maybe taking the hands onto the thighs, or maybe just taking the fingertips down beside you. Just stretching out through those toes, stretching out through those feet before we start to wake up. Staying with that breath, inhaling and exhaling. Knowing you can take some of the weight off and come back onto the hands if you need. It's a really great stretch to work through the lower legs. And then when we're ready, taking the hands down in front and just untucking the toes and just finding a tap out here. So tap out through the feet. Slowly moving mindfully here. That stretch is quite intense for your toes, just tapping out. And then finding a tabletop position, so shoulders are stacked above wrists, hips stacked above knees. Inhale here, lift the chest. Exhale around the spine, drop the head. Then come back to neutral. Seeing if you can lift up that right leg and just take it behind you, tucking under the toes and just stretching through the leg here. So you want to be pushing through that back foot, keeping the rest of the body where it was, maybe taking the gaze forwards, just really finding that stretch through the back leg, engaging through the glutes, engaging through the arms. Inhaling here and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling, drawing that leg back down. Taking the same variation with the left leg. So pushing out, tucking under those toes, engaging everything, switching the body on. Breathing here. You can keep a slight micro bend through that back knee if you need. We don't want to be locking anything out. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling, drawing it back in and taking the body down for a second and then waving it back up. Tucking under those toes, pushing the hips up and back, coming to your downward facing dog. So this might be your first downward facing dog of the day. So just finding a pedal out here between the feet, dropping those heels up and down. Stretching out through those hamstrings, through the Achilles here as well. And then when you're ready, coming to find some stillness, drawing those heels down towards the mats. Inhale, we roll up. Exhale, we kind of switch the heels over to the right and bend through both knees. Inhale to come back up to center. Exhale, bend the knees. Heels coming over to the left. Inhale up. Exhale, bend through the knees, switch to the right. Inhale up. Bend through those knees, switch to the left. Lovely. Coming back through center, drawing the heels down. And we're just going to walk those feet in towards the hands. So we want to take them hip distance apart. So probably they're coming just behind the ankles now. You might be up on the fingertips here. You might be slightly lower down. Wherever you are, knowing you can take hands to the ankles. And we're just going to stay here in our forward fold for a while. So taking the weight into the feet, releasing it from the hands, taking opposite elbows. Just dropping the head heavy. Legs do not have to be straight here. They can have a bend in them. You can be all the way down here and still be getting the benefits. If you want to, straightening those legs, dropping everything down. Maybe finding a sway here in our Uttanasana. And feel that stretch working all the way up the backs of the legs, all the way up through the thighs, into the glutes. Checking in here, seeing that your weight is evenly distributed. Maybe you've got the tendency to rock back, so just checking that the weight's even. Rocking from side to side. Maybe taking that left hand down in front, bending through the left leg, inhaling, sweeping right arm up, taking gaze to those fingers, feeling that stretch working all the way up now and possibly into the lower back. And then when you're ready, coming to the other side, so taking right hand down, bending through that right leg, inhale, sweeping left arm up, gazing to the fingertips. Staying with that breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and then taking both hands down. Stepping the feet out slightly so they're at an angle. Just dropping the bum down, coming to find Amalasana yogic squat. Maybe you keep the hands down here. Maybe you bring the hands to heart center and use those elbows to push out through the knees. You might still be up on the toes here, whichever variation works for you. And just keeping with that sway side to side. Keeping the gaze forwards, chest lifting. Maybe coming up onto one toe, dropping down, coming up onto the other. And then gently taking the hands down, dropping down onto the bum and taking those legs out long. We want the feet to be hip distance here, flex through the feet, keep them active. We're going to come into our forward fold, Paschimottanasana. So when you're ready, inhaling, taking the arms up. Exhale, fold the back forward, trying to keep it nice and straight. You might like to take a strap here around the feet if you have one. Or maybe you'd like to take index fingers around the big toes and just pull those elbows out, deepening that stretch slightly. Keeping the back nice and straight. Gaze to the toes. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Noticing how this feels static, and then just seeing if with the breath you can bend a little bit more. As we inhale, find that length. As we exhale, we fold down a little deeper. So I invite you here to just undulate. Inhaling to lift the back up. Exhaling to fold forwards that tiny bit more. One more time, inhaling up. Exhale, fold forwards. And then inhale, releasing the toes if you have them, or releasing your strap, taking the hands down and just walking them back towards you, coming up. Maybe taking some stretches here quickly with the feet. So if you've done ballet, you might know it as good toes, naughty toes. So just flexing and pointing, working those muscles. Lovely. And we draw those knees into the chest here, and then drop them out to the sides, taking the soles of the feet together for our Baddha Konasana. You can draw the soles of those feet really in towards the body. You might like to take blocks either side if you need them underneath the knees. And from here we inhale, find that length. Exhale, forward fold. Holding on to those feet, keeping the back nice and straight. Staying with that breath, feeling that opening through the hips, through the groin. Inhaling and exhaling. On an inhale, rising back up. Taking the legs out long. Maybe just moving through the knees. And then when you're ready, coming to find a comfortable seated position. Maybe cross-legged. Taking a nice breath in through the nose, maybe closing the eyes here. And releasing it all out through the mouth. Opening your eyes and coming back to the room. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the lower body stretch, and I hope it sets you up for a wonderful rest of the day. Bye guys.